Hello everyone, also Klaus here, and today guys I'm gonna keep on reviewing some RoboRiders set, and well today we're gonna review, or at least I'm gonna review the lava set, but first of course, because I don't have the lava canisters, I'm just gonna show you the frost canister again, just for those who don't know what a RoboRiders canister look like, because it's quite in fact interesting, because that was the first time we have really some cylinder shell canister in fact. So in fact nothing really important apart from the fact that the canister lid is quite useful for the combiner model because it's got a pinhole, so this part, or the canister lid, which will be used, the canister's lids, yes, because will be used as wheels for the combiner's model. And that's all for the canister itself. So now for the instruction booklet. So here you can see lava, of course, in his natural environment, attacked by, of course, the natural enemy, so kind of a big mountain, angry guy, as you can see right here, with lavas exploding everywhere. So quite a cool action scene. This model is quite fast, in fact, in terms of building. In kind of building, because it's just 19 steps, so no 25 or 27 like a frost or swamp. You can see right here the canister of lava, by the way, which of course is red, not white like unlike the frost one. Here, of course, it shows you how the launching wheel gimmick works, or at least how to make it work. Then all the 16 types of disc, each one came in like 8 colors. So of course each of these guys will present a tool. So for example you got the sword guys, the drill guys, the axe guys, etc, etc. So you know that, I think, by now, but for those who watch this as their first RoboRiders review, well, you just have to know that there exist 16 types of disc. Each come in 8 colors. Here you got the combiner model, which can be made with swamp and lava. So you have already seen this one yesterday, and as I said, you need the 2 canister lid of the canisters to make the rear wheels. So of course this time there is more instruction in comparison to the swamp's instruction booklet. Then you have a little ad with all 6 RoboRiders sets. Well, even if there is a 7th one, which is a bigger one, but still, all the 6 which came in canisters, and then the 5 other combiners model, which can be made with more than 2 sizers. For example, 3 sizer, I mean RoboRiders, of course. So like 3-1, 3-4, 6, etc. And of course, the instructions were on the original website, which don't exist anymore. So now for the set itself, so here is lava. So let me just adjust my webcam. So as you can notice, the color scheme is normal red, black, and orange. You can see. You can also notice that this guy got like 3 wheels, so kind of like swamp. But you may remember that on swamp the 2 rear wheels were really close, in fact, and this time there is a wide gap between them, so it's in fact lava looked more like a tricycle than a motorcycle, if you want my opinion. But well, it's quite original, and we're gonna see how everything, how this guy works, because as I've said yesterday, in fact, lava got kind of the same body frame as swamp. You're gonna see that right now, in fact. This means well, it's used, in fact, it is the same parts as a body frame, so you will have this black part, which was already black on the on swamp. Then you have these 2 front parts, which this time are in red, so not black, unlike swamps. And then we're gonna again use kind of the same parts as swamps, but in a more basic way, even simpler, because yes, swamp was quite simple with the parts it's used, and well, lava is the same, but even simpler. So for example, the wheels. Remember, on swamp they were linked on some technique beams. Here it's the same stuff, but with some, again, simpler technique beams, because it's just a straight one, and the wheel is right here, so of course it's orange, and here you think I have the flamethrower on it. So we're gonna link that, just let me take the instruction booklet to be sure what it's here. So we're gonna link this part right there on the back. So kind of like swamp, in fact. If I don't say yes, kind of like swamp. Then we're gonna link the upper part. So again, thanks to this technique beam, so again, kind of like swamp. The upper part is the same as swamps again, so I think I'm not gonna say that anymore, but still it's the same. So it's just the same part you have already see here, but this time in red, and then the L, which of course got a unique print. So here you got the name right here, which is kind of more discreet than the other RoboRiders, and of course we have some kind of robotic parts plus eyes, which kind of look weird, that because eyes really look like kind of a human or animal, and look pretty strange, I have to say. And then the little flames on the mouth, even if it's not really a mouth, but well, this little part to all the model, I guess. And then we're gonna link this part right here. And then, like swamp, last time I'm gonna say that, we're gonna put this L-shaped part plus some system axe, as you can see. It works pretty nice on a T-shaped part. As you can also notice the little technique axle, excuse me. And in fact, we're gonna use this L-shaped part to link the upper part and the lower one, so like swamps. Now we're gonna do that 2 times. For this thing, we're gonna make this another time. This means we're gonna do these 2 parts in a symmetrical way. So we're gonna put the second wheels, and then the second L-shaped part plus the other axe, and finally the front part, which holds the front wheel. This time I think it's the claw guy, as you can see, the claws guy, even if you can just one claw, by the way. Of course, the same part as you have already seen on Thrust and Swamp. We're gonna link that thanks to the little holes on the side, on the inner side, and there you go. Lava is done. Little turn around. And well, now we're gonna talk about the gimmicks, because remember Swamp have some elastic, and in fact here this time it's kind of Swamp but in a simpler way, because it doesn't really have any elastic, as you can see. In fact, the gimmick, or the articulations, will just work thanks to the pinholes and the pin, in fact, because it's it's got a rounded shape, so of course it can move. It's not like an axle in an axle hole, which can't move, in fact. So the gimmick, in fact, is that we can change the position of the upper part. So for example, we can put this in this way, or in the back. And this time, of course, it's look more dynamic than the original original design. Or you can put this in the front like that, and again it looks like more original, more like a bike, in fact. And of course, as you can see, when you move this part in the front, the L-shaped part move also, which means the axes just fall down kind of like that, so kind of attack, of course. And well, that's it for the gimmick of Lava, his unique gimmick, in fact. And well, it's quite nice because it changed the way you see the model, because here it's quite look blocky and kind of like a chariot, I have to say. And when you move that, it looks, of course, a lot faster, I have to say, in terms of design. And of course, the second gimmick is a throwing front wheel, which works like the same. So this means pushing this part in the front, then this part on the side, doing some stuff like that. So I hope it will work. Well, okay, it doesn't really work. Maybe I'm just doing that totally. So okay, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. So if you're an expert, oh yes, yeah, it's worked. If you're an expert in launching RoboRiders front wheel, just leave me a comment and explain me how to make it work all the time. Oh, it works a second time. So well, here you go. You launch your wheel, which continues spinning on, of course, and rolling on and on. And well, that's all for lava, guys, because well, I've talked about everything. So now for the sum up. So the color scheme is okay, I have to say. I mean, it's well, you have the lava feeling, the fire feeling, because of course orange, red, and also the black. But I might say I would have preferred if the wheels were like a trans orange and they were more like some transparent orange elements, because it might have given the model a more I don't know, a more interesting feeling, I have to say. Not really that blocky aspect with some normal color, with some matte colors you can see, because, well, they are just pretty simple colors. So, well, I think it would have been maybe cooler with some trans orange parts for the wheels, and maybe for some little flares or stuff like that on the model. But still, it's a pretty okay color scheme, because it still represent nicely the lava feeling. Then you have the construction itself, which is pretty blocky, so it's kind of like swamp, but even less interesting, because it doesn't really have any elastics to work with. So in fact, it's just some simple parts you put in a simple way, so it's all pretty straightforward. And well, it's an okay construction, nothing really fancy, in fact, nothing really, again, interesting. The overall design, again, is kind of the same. It's quite blocky, but I have to say that thanks to the gimmick, which are pretty cool, well, the design is interesting, because first of all, in his initial position, it's pretty unique in comparison to the other RoboRiders. For example, you have like three wheels, yes, and these two ones, as I said, are kind of spread in a wide way, so it's quite different, like for example, swamp or I think the game is called what? No, dust, yes. Dust or swamp. So it's been only a tricycle shape, and it's quite original. And then you can modify the overall shape of the model just by putting it down thanks to the main gimmick of the model. And you have a kind of complete different model, or at least a different way to look at, in fact, because this time it really look a lot faster, just more dynamic and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting, I have to say. So even if the design kind of look bland at first, because it's not really it's used quite blocky parts and stuff like that, well, it's still I think it's still an interesting one, and it's pretty different and pretty unique. So that's why it's pretty good, because it's pretty unique. And then the parts selection, so again, it's quite like swamp, so this means the parts are all pretty generic. So again, of course, if you want this type of parts in one, I don't really know if they are rare or stuff like that, but seriously, apart from the head again, then the three wheels, and maybe the little axe, if you don't have any system, medieval system set. Well, apart from that, there isn't any interesting parts. So apart from some blocky and generic techniques part, nothing really fancy. So again, it's not really a good point for the set itself. The part selection is quite poor in terms of interesting or really new parts, I have to say. And even if maybe these technique parts are rare, but I don't really know. And well, I just talk in terms of more specific parts. So that's all for this model, guys. So just to in a nutshell, seriously, it's a pretty good model, but maybe that's not really the one I would advise you to buy in first. I think maybe Frost or Swamp are maybe better than this model, but still, if you have already some RoboRiders and don't have this one, well, at least this one is quite different. Even if the construction or the parts are quite generic, not really interesting, at least the gimmick is, well, you will, I think, like it with the time. It's not really the model you want first, because it's still quite bland and not really interesting in comparison to the other model, but with the time you might like it, because well, it has some unique specifications, like the design and like the three wheels and stuff like that. So well, maybe not the first one I will advise you to buy if you don't have any RoboRiders, but still a pretty good one, because it's pretty unique. But you have to know that the construction and the parts are not really that good. So that's all for lava, guys. Hope you enjoyed this set, hope you enjoyed this review, and of course if you have any questions on the set or anything else, well, on the set itself, it will be cool, of course, not question of my private life. If you have any question on the set, well, feel free to ask, even if I think I've answered all the questions you might have with this set. And of course, if you just want to comment about the set, give your opinion, well, feel free to do it, and post a comment in the comment section of this video. And that's all, guys. So, well, I don't know, maybe maybe tomorrow or Friday. I think it will be more like Friday you will have, and of course we're gonna continue the reviews of the RoboRiders with I think it's gonna be power. So well, that's all, guys. So I'll finish this review and see you later for another RoboRiders video review. Bye bye.